What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Ash Brown, and this is Ash Brown Uncensored. On this program, I talk a little bit about everything. It may be pop culture related, but it's probably Ash Brown related. You got to stay tuned to see what I'm going to talk about. Today, all day. Okay, so it's been a whirlwind month of diss tracks, like rap. I don't know if this is going to really revive rap, because for me, hip hop has been dead for some time. I'm not even going to lie about it. My thoughts on it. It's just been dead. It's just been almost like a lost art form. And so these beefs, and shout out to Chris Brown, because he did spank Quavo. All right, let's just keep it at 100, what it is. He did. But this Kendrick Drake situation is quite amusing. It was actually pretty amusing to see. It's been a while since we've really had a thorough rap battle, like a diss track, just conflict challenge. It's been a while. And me personally, I've never been a Drake fan. He's had some bops throughout the years. I'm not going to lie to you. He's had some bops, some stuff that, you hear in the club, it's remixed, or, he may feature with somebody. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Kendrick, I know Kendrick's stuff. I know some of his work, but I can't say that, oh my God, I'm a hardcore Kendrick fan. I'm not going to say that because it's not true. But this was an interesting, fascinating, captivating, entertaining battle, which out of everything that happened and everything that was released and how it was released and everything, I say that this battle captivated the world in a way that it never did before because of the internet. The internet, social media, and sharing and everything like that. So, kudos to both teams, because I think they did a really good job in duking it out. This is where I feel Drake failed. No, I'm going to say it. This is how I feel he failed. I feel as though the industry gave him a false sense of security. And when I say that, I mean like he felt like he was covered no matter what. Everything he did was wonderful. Everything, he did nothing but, he poots out gold. Everything that he does, he can't do wrong. Problem with that is, in my opinion, like I said, he's had some really good club bangers, really good pop-esque songs. And people were giving Mos Def so much hate about when he said that Drake was not hip-hop, but he's not. He's not hip-hop. Drake has been acquainted with people in hip-hop. Like, I don't think that Drake would have really been popping like how his career went if he had went with any other label. Outside of Cash Money, I don't think. Weezy and Baby gave Drake credibility in a way that made people embrace him, because he was in this weird category. He's singing and rapping, and so he kind of switches up, but he's from Canada, y'all. He's from Canada. So what I've been seeing in the different YouTube videos and people posting their thoughts on it is that Drake has been slowly but surely just ciphering off different people's flow, different people's energy. And that's how he's been building his own credibility, which is really weird, because I never paid attention because, again, not a Drake fan, not against him, but not necessarily, couldn't tell you his latest single. I can tell you his latest flop. But I think that he got too comfortable. And he felt as though he was just going to continue to just slide through the industry, slide through his successes, and nothing would happen. If he had just bowed out or just stayed quiet or ignored what this industry was trying to create in this hostile environment, I think that he would have still had a fighting chance to still sell some records. I definitely believe that. But I think ego got in the way. I think his ego is probably his biggest flaw. And let this situation humble him. Hopefully, at the bare minimum of it, this situation will humble him. He won't be back in hip hop, but maybe, he'll continue producing TV shows and stuff. Like I feel like he had a show that he was executive producer of for Hulu. Forgot what it was, but it was actually a decent show. It was decent writing. You could somewhat, catch it, the gist of it. It was a good show. I think that other avenues should be explored for him now, because I think rap, I think the world is telling him, no, Drake, you're not it. And I feel like the industry has slowly, like I said, they gave him a false sense of security to where he felt like he could never be knocked off of his throne. He was kind of flung off the throne, y'all. He was kind of flung off there. Because if I sit and think about some Drake tracks that I do know, he doesn't ever talk about, I feel like he doesn't really talk about where he comes from as far as being from Canada. And he doesn't really rep anywhere. Like, he's trying to rep everywhere. And you can't represent everywhere because you're not from everywhere. You're from one specific place. And it seems like he doesn't really have pride in being Canadian. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being Canadian. It's just, it's a different experience. And I think, I don't know, because I don't know how popular or unpopular he may be in Canada, especially now. But I feel as though they gave him a false sense of security. And all those rappers and producers that he was dealing with, like, Future and Metro Boomin and all these other people. And now they've slowly kind of like, I don't know if the veil was raised and they saw him for who he was, or they were just trying to get out of it what they could. But it's over. No more hanging out at Magic City. None of that type stuff. I think the best thing that he could do is all that money, because he made a whole bunch of money. All that money he made, reinvest it. Find another industry to dominate. But this whole pseudo hip hop, because it's like he never really embraced hip hop in my opinion. Like, when he would feature on songs, he was a lot of times kind of singing, or he would have a flow, but it was not hip hop. And I don't know how to really explain it, but I can't say that I'm sorry to see him go, because I don't feel like he really contributed in a vast way for hip hop music. For music as a whole, absolutely. Drake has definitely contributed, but I wouldn't necessarily say he was one of the greats. I don't feel like he was a strong MC. And I don't feel he should have battled Kendrick. I don't think that was smart, but I think ego got in the way, and this is where we're at. This is where we're at. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him back acting. I think that may be the next move, but I think like I said, the connections that he's made in this industry, which it's like now, it's like everybody has turned. Like in the last year, even before this whole Kendrick thing, he has kind of been on the outs with a lot of people and producers. Even The Weeknd is against him. I'm like, what, The Weeknd? I thought The Weeknd liked everybody. But a lot of people are anti-Drake these days. They are anti-Drake. So it's interesting to see. The only thing that is puzzling to me is, why did it take so long? Why did it take so long? But I think Cash Money, Weezy, Baby, they gave him credibility in a way that nobody else could. They got him featured on tracks, got him exposure, and he got comfortable. I don't think that he ever thought that he would be knocked out of his place. But, yeah, I don't think he can do anything else right about now. I think the music thing is defunct, and he needs to find something else to occupy his time. Yeah, I mean, do I think he's talented? I do. I think he is talented, but I could tell you just from Jump Street that he was not a powerful MC. I could tell you that from just the banks of it, because I know it. He's not a powerful MC. And hopefully he's learned his lesson. He may release some stuff maybe next year. But this was an entertaining battle. This was very entertaining. They kept the people going. But it's over, and it's time to get back to basics. So, anyways, I hope that you guys have a great, wonderful, fantabulous weekend ahead. And I will holla at y'all later. Have a good one, boo-boo. And, well, even if you're not going to have a wonderful weekend, you definitely have a better weekend than Drake.